Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a little busy. I'm certainly not retired, and I work about a 14-day week. So we own a school, and I freelance, and I do fine art for galleries. But my true passion actually is called homicide forensics, and I love it. And so I got busy on a couple cases, and when you do, your life becomes that case. And I love it. I just love it. It takes all the knowledge that I have for the last 46 years and puts it into one little tunnel. And just I don't know. It's just I don't for some reason I like it. I don't watch the TV shows. I don't I'm not obsessed with that stuff, but I really enjoy doing the work. And I like the people. The people are amazing. Let's go to the Getty. Okay. So the Getty's closing in about 9 months. So I plan on going there quite a bit and gathering as much stuff as I can, not taking the actual stuff, but like I did this paper, but taking photos of the books and stuff. And then I'll share it with you guys. Okay. So we'll actually probably have the most Getty stuff that I know of because we have been collecting it for all these years with this thing called the phone camera. It's been great. And we're allowed to take photos in the library and stuff as a research library. Let's do some drawings. So this is my Getty paper, but what I'm going to do is go right to the sketchbook, okay? Because this stuff will run out pretty quick. You guys can see that's good. I'm in a pretty chill mood. It's been a little tired, been busy. So we'll be a little chill, not a lot of the crazy stuff. This was the last time we did. Just more loving to draw. Okay. This book is almost full, so we're going to use this one, and then we'll move over to this one. Okay. So I'll put this over here. We're of course always taking pictures of the floor that we're on because I'm an artist and I can't even remember much of anything other than drawing. So, and especially numbers. So I was on floor number 4. Here's the library. Isn't this great? So got all these bookshelves and you just walk through and just be in love. Over here against, nope, those are bookshelves. So here's the desk, and I usually just sit at a desk and got my headphones on the whole time. Definitely not talking. Remember, I'm only talk when I'm told to, when I'm teaching. Other than that, got headphones on. You get a nice desk. You got the cool thing is you have electricity and you have your own light. Back there's all these books. This is the cool part of the library, you guys. This is fun. So these books here range from everything from typography, architecture, just crazy stuff. And a lot of the books are kind of new. Some of them I have on my shelf in here or in my studio, which is pretty interesting. But then you get to like these. These books here are kind of like Michelangelo slept there type books. They're really cool. And like, look at that. I have books like they're really old, they're really fun. Look at the size of these things. So I like to draw from those. I think these are the Dürer books, Dürer. And take it off the shelf, bring it to your desk, study. Look at the size of these things. And you just study. So that is my wild day. That's what I do when I'm wild. Like, oh, it's going to be a wild day. I'm going to go to the Getty, have my lanyard, be able to park before everybody else, um, go to the library, sit down, and just study. Pretty crazy, huh? Okay, so that's that. So let's see, what are we going to study? Oh, look at this. So there's the bookshelves. You could tell I'm tired. I've just been working day, morning to morning. So I turned in the case. They're there. One of them's going to trial. I don't do trial. I don't testify. The other one's off to the attorneys for review. So they'll be reviewing my stuff, and then they'll call me with questions and, of course, changes. But you can see these are photos. Isn't that wild? And you can just open it up and see all these photos. So that's kind of cool. And then here's a bunch of books. These are all Raphael. See, I speak this very fluent. Raphael, yeah, yep. 4. See, Raphael, yes, I understand the drawing. 4, yes, okay. So if you look, the way Raphael is drawing is exactly how you guys need to draw when you're doing your storyboard, your animation, everything. Okay. So this book here is just about full. You can see it's just full of these. Like that was done at the Getty. You guys can see it, yeah. And this was at the Getty. Sketch, Getty. This was not the Getty. So what I'm going to do is go back in, that's the Getty, and draw on these pages, which will be kind of fun. I mean, I have a bunch of these, but it's kind of fun to go in there. And here we go. Wow, I'm going to be yawning a lot. I'm finally relaxing. So when you sketch, when you get your sketchbook and you open it up, that means relaxation. So this was from our school all last week. And this was teaching how to draw on location. And the way to draw on location is exactly the way they did it in the Renaissance. And I like this one. I've done this photo so many times. You can see she's really, listening, She goes, really? They really only have Pepsi and not Coke? And we're staying? See that? So she's got that kind of an attitude. And then there's some woman sitting on the beach. Just back Catalina. Use the cross contours. We guys sitting there reading. Just looking. So if you go to our Instagram, you'll see I posted the drawings. This was today. Went out to eat and sitting there in the restaurant. Something like that. Okay, so let's do it. It's just a normal pen. Now, if you look at this drawing, you can see it. You can see that? It's super, super loose. And all you're doing is basically just pulling. You're just pulling the lines. You see? So this would be an animator's rough. Okay, so here's this guy. He's kind of hanging around. So I'm going to go here. That's C7, cervical vertebra number 7. This indicates the head. And come around. There we go. So it's all about story. And the story is like the arm to the elbow to the lower arm. That's the story we're talking about. And you're just pulling the pen. The old animators, which I was very lucky to get to draw from and started studying their work when I was 13 in person, watching Eddie Rayberg draw, you know, for every week from the age of 13 to my early 20s. Started working. Again, my name was Goddammit Sheldon. So, very proud to be called Goddammit Sheldon. Goddammit Sheldon. But what they would do is they would just kind of push the pen. And then when I started working in the studio, people that I knew, Bill Carney and Jack Ozark and all these guys, I knew them. I was Eddie's kid. So, it's like, who's that young guy walking around the studio? Oh, that's Eddie's kid. Like, my students are my kids. Don't mess with my students because they're like my own children. And I will protect them with everything I've got. I mean, I love my students. And, but that was kind of like these guys. And, but I would, you just sit there and you watch them draw. And you wonder, like, when you're doing the cleanup, did they ever even touch the paper with the pencil? And they're just kind of moving the pencil. So you can probably figure it, like, in their mind, they're going, okay, let's see, latissimus, dorsi, bicep, tricep, that type of thing. Not super, the supinator, and stepping down at the wrist. And as you're doing the drawing, just talk to yourself, okay? So here, I'm going to take this further than Raphael and just push that scapula way out there. And then from there, you can see that. So it looks kind of the same. It's kind of Renaissance-y, just very, very scribbly. You're just pulling these lines. Then you get these lines here. These are cross contours. Cross contour is drawing, you guys. Okay? So then you can come in and go like this and start wrapping around. Okay? And just see where it turns. Like here I'm drawing along, I'm seeing where the arm turns. Here's the electron. Maybe we turn the head, have it looking the other way, that way. So it looks like crosshatching and it looks like a scribble, but it's really not. You're actually drawing over each bump, which is a muscle or a bone. And I like anatomy personally. They use my anatomy in, the courtroom and stuff. I love it. And, I get pretty good at drawing it clean, so that anybody will understand it. I surround myself with really smart people. I was talking to one of my friends, to his friend and colleague. And of course, he's got a PhD, and these guys are really smart. And it was weird. It was like I'm working on this case, and I'm trying to put the camera on this side and I'm going to have it on this side. When you're looking at it on this side, right? So if I have, you know, let's say, I don't know, like a person or something, you know, and then I go to this side, they're going the other way. My brain doesn't compute this, you know. I'm taking kids at the school and I'm taking photos of them from here, and they go the other way. Right out of the blue today, he says, "Did you hear about the?" Because I was explaining to him about one of my lectures. He goes, "The whole idea about being a, you know, an expert in your field is be able to take really difficult, complex information and simplify it, and that's what we do here." And so he sends me. He goes, "Did you hear about the guy who did the report on how a mirror works?" And this guy literally did theses on how the mirror works. So I have it and I'm going to read it. You know, I'm going to study it because, you know, on my case, you know, it's like I want to be able to show the other side, but can the jury understand that he's really not going the other way? It's just on the other side. If my brain can't do it, you know, I've got like maybe 4 brain cells in the average person. So we've got 3, so we got 1 more than them, and it's difficult. So that's what we're dealing with. So here, it's not a bunch of crosshatching. You're actually drawing over the muscles. And again, I love the muscles. Okay, so there you go. So that's a, you know, so then on top of this, you can just go right to paint. So you can go from here because you know where your shadows are because you've done your cross contours. Go right to finish. Do a painting. So that's your process. You know, you do your value. You do your values in your head. Do your color in your head. Do it all in your head. I do everything in my head. So I'll walk around kind of like the last couple of weeks, you know, on this project I'm working on, just walking around. I'm just like in another place. Like when I was a kid, you know, I was always daydreaming, always another place. Well, back then they just said, you know, your son's stupid. Now all of a sudden you realize, oh, he's actually doing something. So, you know, you're figuring it out. And that's what I want you to be able to do. And here's that cross contour. So I figure it all out in my head and then I go right to finish. Okay, let's do some more. All right, so that's Raphael 1. Okay, let's have fun.